Europe's most powerful leader wants to ban burqas in Germany. Angela Merkel says the full-face veils worn by some Muslim women are not appropriate. The German Chancellor told a party's conference on Tuesday burqas should be forbidden wherever legally possible. This comes as hate crimes against Muslims have been on the rise. In the US, FBI statistics show a 67% increase from 2014 to 2015. A group of Muslim American leaders wrote an open letter to President-elect Donald Trump saying this: "Like other Americans, we love our country and are committed to preserving religious freedom, equal opportunity and equal protection under the law for all. As our president-elect, one of your duties is to ensure our collective safety and security. This includes protecting the First Amendment rights of all Americans to freely practice their faith without fear, intimidation or reprisals." Edina Lekovic is here with me now. She's the Communications Director for the Muslim Public Affairs Council. Dina, thank you for coming in. Has there been a response to this letter from the Trump transition team?
No, we have not received a response just yet. And part of the reason that we decided to release it as an open letter was that the message is for Donald Trump and the transition team, and it's also for our broader society who needs to hear from American Muslims at a time when we're being talked about but not talked to.
Yeah, that is the problem. The letter reads in part, as American Muslims committed to the values of our faith and the principles that underpin our country's democracy, we write to express serious concerns about policies proposed during your campaign, as well as announcements regarding appointments to your upcoming administration. Which appointments in particular concern you the most?
Quite honestly, the list is probably too long to talk about on air, but I think starting with Steve Bannon at the top of the list, General Flynn, and a host of others who have clear track records of not just anti-Muslim sentiment and even outright bigotry, but who have also who've made their opinions about other vulnerable communities pretty clear as well.
Why did you think you have to highlight the contributions that American Muslims have made over the years?
I think it's critical for us to realize that President-elect Donald Trump doesn't know who we are as American Muslims. If he did, he would know that we are enriching, valuable members of our society, that we are athletes, we're physicians, we're entrepreneurs, we're religious scholars, we're physicians, we're everyday people who contribute to the overall betterment of our society, and we should be treated that way.
Yeah, President Obama talked about the importance of American values, and he rejected the idea of a religious test, is what the president said.
The United States of America is not a country that imposes religious tests as a price for freedom. We're a country that was founded so that people could practice their faith as they choose. The United States of America is not a place where some citizens have to withstand greater scrutiny or carry a special ID card or prove that they're not an enemy from within. We're a country that has bled and struggled and sacrificed against that kind of discrimination and arbitrary rule here in our own country and around the world.
Why are Americans who would hold those ideals so precious to themselves, why are some Americans willing to deny that to Muslims who live in this country?
Well, I think that's a more appropriate question for those Americans who would want to deny it. Part of me believes that a big part of that has to do with how few Americans actually know a Muslim. We know from the data that 38% of Americans say that they know a Muslim. That means that 62% don't. And we also know that meeting somebody of a different background makes all the difference. It's the exposure. It's the factor of coming out of the closet. And so, unfortunately, right now in the wake of so many hate crimes, hate attacks, the hate speech that is going on, it is making it even more difficult for people who are Muslim to feel safe and comfortable to let other people know that they're Muslim.
But that's reach out in the first place, yeah.
And that's part of the solution that we need to get through this this huge divide.
I want to talk quickly about Germany. Chancellor Angela Merkel accepted her party's nomination for another 4-year term. She said Sharia law should not replace German justice. Full-face veils should be banned.
We have to show our face during personal communication, which is important. And that is why the full veil is not appropriate here. It should be forbidden, wherever that is legally possible. It does not belong to us.
I mean, the reality is just maybe a few hundred women actually, cover up in Germany. So what's the reality here? What's the message that is being sent?
I think it's really unfortunate when we choose to propose to ban things, because we know that when we ban things, we only make them more popular. So if what the message intended here is that we want to see these Muslim refugees, these immigrants, to integrate, then we should create a path for integration that focuses on giving them language skills, giving them educational opportunity, giving them job opportunities, so that they can live a stable and contributing life among others. That's the best path toward integration, not telling people who may already feel like they're on the margins of society that they have to change in order to fit.
She made this speech while accepting her party's nomination. There's a lot of politics in play here. She's being squeezed by many on the right, many anti-immigrant parties on the right. There's even a question if this ban would be allowed under the German constitution. So this seems more about politics than religion, right?
It may very well be more about politics than about religion. And for myself, Chancellor Merkel has done a tremendous service to humanity through her open door policy, if we call it that, towards refugees. Germany has accepted more refugees, I think, than any other Western country in the last year. And that is should be a tremendous honor to Germany. And now the test is what we do next. So I applaud Chancellor Merkel for that, and I urge her, for whatever it's worth, that she continue to uphold those values, because she is a shining light in that regard.
She has been seen as the defender of liberal values in Europe, so this was a bit of a surprise. Edina, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.